Girl, let me tell you, Meghan Markle has just been blocked. Yes, blocked by Netflix itself. Can you even imagine? The same platform that once treated her like Hollywood royalty finally said, "We're done." No smiles, no second chances, no sparkle left to sell. Because that sparkle, honey, it turned into stress. Too much drama, too little payoff, and a behind-the-scenes disaster so awkward that even the executives said, "Nope, we're finished here," and they didn't sugarcoat it either. One insider flat out said it felt like the end. Overnight, Meghan went from Hollywood's shiny it girl to the one nobody wanted at their table. You know the type. When the cameras go off and the fake smiles fade, suddenly everyone remembers your name for all the wrong reasons. So Netflix didn't make a scene. Oh no, they didn't throw tantrums or call press conferences. They did something way colder. They canceled Meghan quietly. The kind of cold where someone just stops texting you but you still see them posting selfies online like nothing happened. That's how Netflix moved. Ice cold. And get this, insiders whispered that the Christmas special wasn't even a celebration. It was a cover-up, a glossy holiday cheer distraction hiding the final goodbye. Executives behind closed doors were already calling it the closing credits. No season 3, no comeback, no miracle redemption arc, just fake smiles on camera and a silent "we're done" echoing behind the scenes. And that massive Royal Hollywood contract that launched the whole Sussex fairy tale? Yeah, the sunset came early. Netflix already decided, once it expires in September 2025, no renewal, no reconsideration, not even a polite discussion. Done and dusted. That was the crack in the fairy tale. The exact moment when the world's biggest platform decided Meghan wasn't the star she thought she was. Not trending, not trusted, not worth the renewal. The royal countdown had hit 0. But if Netflix was bowing out, honey, they were going out messy. Let's talk about that kiss. In the final trailer, there was this cringe-worthy, painfully awkward moment. Meghan suddenly pulled Harry into a kiss, like a mom dragging her kid into a family photo he absolutely did not want to take. You could see it. Harry wasn't thinking about romance. The poor man was focused on his food, looking half asleep, half lost, like he accidentally wandered onto a film set. And don't get me started on his hairline, baby. People said they had never seen it look that bad. One commentator even said he looked like he'd been dragged through a hedge backward. I nearly dropped my tea. Harry just sat there, eyes glazed, wishing he could disappear into his cereal bowl, while Meghan leaned in, stiff-jawed, flinching like even she didn't want that kiss. But oh, she needed the footage. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't natural. It was desperate. A performative, prove you love me for the camera kind of moment. Harry was just a prop, a background character in his own marriage. And Netflix? Oh, they loved it. They put that moment front and center because they knew what sells. Not love, not truth, but drama. That kiss wasn't affection, it was advertising. And the saddest part, Harry didn't even look like he knew he was in the trailer. That wasn't romance. It was humiliation on full display. After the Netflix breakup, that energy spread through Hollywood like perfume made of pure drama. And Meghan? She didn't sit at home crying? Oh no. She did what every good reality show villain does when the applause fades. She pivoted. Suddenly, her new identity wasn't royal or Hollywood elite. Nope. Her new buzzword was mom. Insiders said she started working on a brand new empire, a mommy world of her own. Family-friendly shows, parenting tips, lifestyle brands, fancy products, and maybe a sprinkle of home life content to soften her image. You could see the hints even in that Christmas special. Cozy decor, family crafts, warm lighting, soft smiles. But here's the thing. It didn't feel warm. It didn't feel cozy or real. It felt like a commercial trying too hard. People behind the scenes whispered it was a soft launch, a test run for her next big act. The CEO of Mom World. But there's a problem. The world doesn't see Meghan as that hands-on, baking cookies and reading bedtime stories kind of mom. The transcript reveals she barely spends time with her kids. Nannies do most of the work. She doesn't even know who's watching them half the time. Her biggest mom moment was bringing her daughter to a business meeting for what, 5 minutes? That's not motherhood. That's marketing. Like opening a bakery when you don't even eat bread. But money talks, darling. When your Netflix crown slips off, you grab whatever new hat you can, even if it says Mom Boss in gold letters. Mom Boss. Because beneath all the glitter, this wasn't about love or family. It was about marketability. And just when Meghan was drawing blueprints for her mommy empire, Harry got hit with a plot twist of his own, a financial one. Remember when Harry stood shoulder to shoulder with presidents speaking about global issues, dignity, and duty? Well, fast forward to now, and he's giving keynote speeches to real estate agents in Toronto. I wish I were joking. Not diplomats, not leaders, estate agents. And it wasn't charity work either. People had to pay to hear him. Tickets weren't cheap, and all for a talk about, wait for it, housing policy and the Canadian economy. A prince talking about mortgages when he literally grew up in palaces. You couldn't write a better satire. And here's the kicker. Harry only has 2 A-levels, one of which he reportedly passed with help. No background in finance, no experience in real estate, no clue about the housing market, but there he was, standing on stage like an expert. Why? Because it pays. Because when you've got no palace, no royal staff, and Hollywood's ghosting your calls, you don't get to be picky. That's when his new title became clear. Prince for sale. Not the kind with diamonds and crowns, but the kind who charges appearance fees. Pay to speak, pay to smile, pay to show up. This wasn't prestige, it was survival mode. And the more desperate Harry looked, the more power Meghan seemed to grab. Because when the bills start knocking, everything becomes a product. Even family, even titles, even children. And right when money stress peaked, guess what happened? Suddenly, Meghan and Harry decided their kids should be prince and princess after all. Remember when they swore they didn't want titles? That they wanted their kids to live normal lives? That the palace was being unfair, even racist, for blocking it? Well, the minute things got tight, boom, the titles were claimed. Royal status restored, brand value reactivated. Because those titles, they're not just fancy labels, they're marketing gold. Princess Lilibet sells better than Lilibet. Prince Archie adds sparkle to a product line. You can build a whole family brand around that. That wasn't coincidence, that was strategy. But it got worse. The double standard became unbearable. They told the world to protect their kids' privacy, then posted their photos weekly. They warned about social media's dangers, then used those same platforms to promote products. They sold privacy while turning their family into packaging. It wasn't family first, it was brand first. The kids weren't being raised, they were being rolled out. Because when the big deals stop coming, you start selling what's left. And in this story, the left had royal titles attached. While all this chaos brewed, something very different and very real was happening back in the royal world. Catherine, Princess of Wales, was quietly fighting her own battle, cancer. She stepped out of the spotlight, no cameras, no curated crafts, no pity party. Just a woman focusing on her health, her husband, her children. Real pain, real healing. And when she came back, she didn't do it with a press stunt or a flashy comeback. She returned with purpose, standing tall on stage, speaking calmly and confidently to global leaders, companies, and communities about real issues, parenting, support, family welfare, things that matter. Her message: love matters more than success. Family matters more than fame. She didn't drag William into a fake kiss. She didn't force emotion for the camera. She earned respect the old-fashioned way, with grace, strength, and authenticity. And that's the difference that burned like daylight. While Meghan tried to look like the queen of motherhood, Catherine acted like the queen of compassion. One was performing love, the other was living it. One staged cozy moments, the other inspired real ones. It was like watching a plastic crown melt beside a real diamond. And once people saw that contrast, Meghan's empire started to look less like an empire and more like a costume party. Because here's the harsh truth. In any world, royal or Hollywood, there's a difference between chasing attention and earning admiration. And once people stop taking you seriously, darling, it's almost impossible to win that respect back. Remember when Meghan and Harry could make headlines with a single photo? When the whole world paused for their interviews, their every move. That era is gone. Now, they're punchlines. Harry's mocked by old schoolmates, his speeches get side-eyed, his credentials questioned. Meghan's shows are called boring, her brand a flop. No magic, no mystery, just noise. Because fame doesn't fade with a crash. It fades with a sigh, a shrug. People stop watching, stop listening, stop caring. And Netflix didn't even have to say a word. When the biggest streamer in the world walks away quietly, it speaks volumes. Their message was simple. They're not worth it anymore. Not as people, but as investments. The Royal Hollywood experiment had failed, and that's how fame really ends. Not with fireworks or scandal, but with silence. With people scrolling past your name. With the spotlight quietly dimming while you still stand there, trying to pose in the dark. Because in Hollywood, and in royalty, the moment people stop believing in your story is over. And here's the saddest part, darling. Meghan doesn't even seem to realize it's over. She still walks into every room like she's auditioning for the role of world's misunderstood princess, smiling that same tight, rehearsed smile, trying to convince everyone she's still in control. But Hollywood can smell desperation from a mile away. The same people who once bowed to her charm now whisper behind her back, calling her yesterday's news. And Harry, he just follows, tired and lost, while Meghan keeps pretending the spotlight's still on. But everyone knows. The show's already ended, and the credits are rolling.